Z Automotive Reviews. Here's proof that the Nissan Z Proto is a 370Z based. And despite its financial difficulties, Nissan has been making great strides to regain its strength. And part of that effort includes its continued presence in the sports car segment. The Nissan GT-R is another thing entirely, though a successor is still in the cards. No, we're referring to the iconic Z car. The Nissan 370Z launched way back in 2009. It has changed very little ever since. Does this mean the Z Proto likely to be named 400Z once it reaches production? Is it all new? Well, there have been suspicion that the Z Proto may not be so. And that it rides on the same modified rear-wheel drive platform. Nissan has refused to directly comment on the matter, but now it seems we have our answers once and for all. There was a video posted that was made by a Japanese journalist who recently visited Nissan Pavilion in Yokohama earlier this month, where they were able to get an up-close inspection of the new concept. They also brought along their tape measures. Now, Nissan official didn't like that very much. Thanks to the English subtitles in the video, we can follow their concept walk around, and thankfully, they claim the car looks even better in the flesh than it does in pictures. And then they begin taking a few measurements. The Z Proto has an exo-to-exo measurements of up to 255 centimeters, which is identical to that of the 370Z. Why would Nissan go to such great length in designing an all-new rear-wheel drive platform, only for it to have the same dimensions as before? The fact is, it wouldn't. Designing and engineering any new vehicle platform from the ground up requires a hefty budget in a few years' time. While Nissan had the time to do so, it simply didn't have the money. Furthermore, a major investment for a platform likely limited to a single model in a niche, one at that makes no financial sense. That all being said, is Nissan's second go-around with the 370Z setup really a bad thing? There was nothing really wrong with this except for the age of the vehicle riding on it. A complete redesign inside and out, along with a new engine and various other refinements, prove this front engine rear-wheel drive layout still has years of life ahead. Now, the mainstream brand sports cars with a manual transmission are far less common than ever, and Nissan made the right decision here, hands down. It's an awesome car. Let's take some more looks at these pics. Of course, this is the 370Z. And this is the Proto Z. In the same measurements. But boy, does the new Proto Z look a hell of a lot better. Now, we know the automotive industry moves in cycles. As style moves in cycles. And this is the old Nissan interior. Boy, oh boy, what a great change. About time, folks. Well, I gotta say one thing. The 2009 370Z did age in a way gracefully. Now, perhaps as a reaction of becoming more and more homogenized in appliances and the way this car look, we're currently seeing sports cars come back into the limelight in 2019. We saw two big name brands such as the Toyota Supra being launched, as well as the mid-engine Chevrolet Corvette. Now we learned that the Nissan is bringing the Z car back. And not before its time. The current 370Z, which we just talked about earlier, is over 10 years old. And while we still love it, it's overdue for retirement. The new Z car is the 7th generation of the iconic line that stretches back to Nissan Fairlady Z from 1969. The next generation is expected to be called the 400Z. We don't know yet. In its free preview by the recently unveiling a few months ago, Nissan Proto, ahead of the official market launch in 2022. This is everything we need to know about the 400Z so far. Now the styling is traditional with the modern slant. Now after a slew of teasers, the Z Proto was unveiled with a heavily heritage-inspired design that stays true to the 6 prior generations of the Z car. While the dimensions and the overall shape are similar to that of the 370Z, measuring 172.5 inches in length and 72.8 inches in width, the design elements are all throwback in appearance. The teardrop headlights are inspired by the original 240Z, as it is the bright yellow pearlescent paint. The tail lights and the rear end design, meanwhile, is derived from the 300ZX. And boy, don't they look nice. Now inside the digital instrument cluster, a broad touchscreen infotainment system that we saw earlier. We'll go back and look at some more of these pictures of the inside interior. I've always been captivated by it. I think it looks great. Now we don't know much about the engine, but the current expectation is that the Z car is going to share the Evolve platform with the Q50 Coupe. Nissan has already confirmed that the Z Proto, that the new car will feature a twin-turbo V6, has been confirmed, which we expect to be the same unit in the Q60. The 3.0-liter twin-turbo unit is going to be generating 300 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque in base form, compared to the current Z, naturally aspirated V6, which makes 332 horsepower with 270 pound-feet of torque. The rumor mill suggests that it's going to be 400 horsepower on tap. That could mean that Nissan will go straight to the 400 horsepower version of the twin-turbo V6 that is currently available on the Red Sports Badge Q50 and the Q60 models. And with the Nismo version in the pipeline, who knows what that figure may be. And there's also the possibility of electrification further down the road. But we'll see. What to expect from this beautiful, iconic automobile. And the chassis is going to be stiffer, tighter, and stronger. The new Z car will be built around a heavily updated version of the FM platform currently underpinning the 370Z, as we saw in the measurements, the Infiniti Q50 and the Infiniti Q60. We still love the 370Z though, it's quite nice. And the idea of a whole new geometry and suspension components on the improved chassis, boy, that's just going to be awesome, folks. Available upgrades to packages are also expected, including adjustable suspension, upgraded steering, and a limited slip differential. Now, despite sharing a platform, though, don't expect the 400Z to be just a restyled version of the Q60. It's going to be a dedicated two-door sports car. And the chassis is going to be exceptionally stiff. And the transmission, well, it's going to be a manual transmission is going to be offered. Now, fans of the Z brand all cheered at the recent teaser from where Nissan confirmed that the Z Proto would debut with 3 pedals and 6-speed gears. A manual gearbox, folks. The prospects of an analog involvement is just spectacular, folks. Mechanical handbrake also confirms that upon launching the Z Proto, Nissan confirmed that the manual gearbox was integral to the spirit of the Z car. The Z has always been a strong dynamic performer, making it easy for customers to enjoy the capabilities and feel connected to the road, said Mr. Tamura, the chief product specialist of the Z Proto. This has been true through all generations, and this is what drives our passion, to innovate the challenge in the norm. I remember way back in the day when my brother had a 280ZX, and I was only a teenager, and I got in that car. I was like, wow. And that thing was so fast. I mean, I'd never been in a Porsche before at that age, but boy, I was like, man, can they do better than this? And that was back on the 280Z, folks. And I expect the same thing from this Proto Z. It just looks awesome and spectacular. This is A Automotive Reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and stay healthy and stay strong.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more interesting videos.